Hey guys, it's Rachel Castile. Welcome to Typology Corner. Today I'm going to do an overview on the Type 2, the Enneagram Type 2. And this is actually my type. So, guys, I have a lot to share on this. Um, so, just starting out, I'm going to cover like their core motivations, what like they've believed in childhood, and like the message that their heart is like longing to hear. And just kind of explore what makes up type 2, and then get into like the subtypes, which are the different ways that this type can appear depending on their instinctual variant. So starting out, the childhood message that type 2s believed is that it's not okay to have your own needs. And kind of as a result of believing that, that kind of evolved into suppressing or repressing the needs of the self, what actually they're feeling, like all of that, to put all that down, to then look outside of themselves and focus on others, to be in tune with their needs and to meet their needs, to add value to the people around them, and to kind of find a sense of identity from being helpful. They're called the helper or the giver. So this is kind of that childhood pattern of believing that lie, that causes them to be like self-forgetting, um, denying their emotions, and looking to others to find their value in being helpful. So the core fear that type 2s have is of being unloved or unwanted for themselves alone. Like fearing being rejected or thought of as needy or unworthy of love, worthless, things of that nature. Um, and their core desire is to feel loved, to be appreciated, to be wanted, to feel that that support, like to be celebrated in a sense for just who they are. And yeah, but this kind of leads into the core weakness. The core weakness or vice is pride. So how this manifests in a 2, it's saying that I'm fine. I don't need any help. Not receiving help. They can be kind of walled off and like deny negative emotions and only display positive, um, a positive emotional state to like further good emotions in others. But it's literally saying, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. When that's just not the case. It's very easy for a 2 to um, just go for a long period of time and be suffering, but like them having like disconnected from that experience within themselves and not really get the help that they need. They can think that it's selfish of them to focus on themselves or to talk about themselves or um, to require time from somebody else on their own needs. They'd rather just shift the focus back and get their value from that thank you, that appreciation for help rendered, basically, is the pattern of 2s. But yeah, the super ego message that they are saying to themselves is you are good or okay if you are loved by others and are close to them. So it's an extremely relationship focused type. They are looking at the level of closeness. How are we doing? You'll see this even more strong in the sexual one-to-one variant of type 2. But in general, I think this is true for all 2s, that it's their identity is based on an outward connection and how that's doing um, in some way. So yeah. So how pride is manifesting, I'm just going to read a couple things. So it's an overinflated sense of self in relationship to others. I know what you need and can give it to you better than anyone else. You need me and I don't need anything. So it's like being that hero in somebody else's life. Coming from this negative place of not tending to the needs of the self, this is not healthy. Like type 2's gift will always be in how they're able to be in tune with others and to be there for others and to kind of know other people or what's going on in other people better than they do, and to bring that awareness and to help people kind of become more self-aware and like to meet those needs. So that's definitely the gift of type 2. Just if it's coming from a place when a type 2 is not taking care of themselves, not loving themselves first, it becomes an unhealthy pattern of denying the self. But yeah, so they're kind of known for inserting themselves, offering help almost too much, um, kind of like having the answer for everybody. That can come from this place of pride, really. Um, yeah, kind of um, seeing that they are the best friend, that they are the most supportive. You need me. Where would you be without me? Can be the pitfall of type 2 potentially. Um, the ego fixation that they can fall into. This is something that how they kind of work as an ego, like how do I describe it? Like um, how they achieve all of this is through the fixation of flattery. This is what their mental fixation is on flattering other people, telling people what they want to hear, kind of thing. Um, it's an attitude of being special and wanting special treatment without having to ask for it. So they're giving flattery to others or wanting to be flattered too. Um, so it's like creating closeness through flattery, potentially. This is like at its, I guess, this is the coping strategy that can kind of pop up. But yeah, the defensive mechanism of type 2s is repression of needs, of feelings, of all of that, denying negative emotions, staying positive, things of that nature. Um, but yeah, some quotes from type 2 is I try to be loved by loving. I can make anyone like me. Isn't it wonderful how close we are? I wouldn't take no. I won't take no for an answer. So yeah, that's that prideful assertion into people's lives. Um, but yeah, let me do that for you. Where would you be without me? Is kind of the overall idea. So, but in health, whenever type 2s are free from that childhood message that it's not okay to have your own needs, and they begin to believe the truth, which is what the core longing of their type, like the message that their heart is crying to hear, is that you are wanted. Just that is true. You don't have to go out and help and do all kinds of things for people in order to have value. You are wanted, you are loved, just at your core. Like when a type 2 believes that, they can rest and begin to live from that place. And the gift that they have of being very in tune with other people's emotions and needs, that's an absolutely beautiful thing that they will add to the world. It just won't be at the expense of their own health or being grounded in love. They won't be doing to get love or to get appreciation. It will be because they know who they are. This will just flow out of them naturally. A core thing I didn't mention earlier is the triad that type 2 is in. They are in the heart triad, meaning they are most in tune with the heart intelligence to make decisions, to navigate life, the world of feelings. So type 2 is most focused on the feelings of others, and not so much their own. They're denying their own. But yeah, also being in the heart triad, their core struggle is with the emotion of shame, feeling ashamed, not knowing their worth, not knowing their value. Who am I? Having a sense of shame about who they are. And then that leads them to create an identity apart from their real self, and how helpful and how connected they are in society with individuals, or you'll see the different strategies implemented when we get to the subtypes. But yeah, that core emotion, the fear of being rejected, that's like the worst thing. I absolutely have struggled with that my whole life, and freedom has been to not avoid rejection, but to let it happen and to discover that it doesn't have control over me. It doesn't dictate me, that I'm not actually defined by the opinions of other people, of how people see me, all of that. But type 2 is in being in the heart triad, they are image focused type. So focused on maintaining this image, this outside persona, and for it to not be crushed. So the identity of the two is on being supportive, on being helpful, and also kind of being right in a sense. As in, this kind of could go into being like having a wing that is a one, a two wing one. But I'm more so wanting to highlight the pride of type 2, of pushing down the self and just inserting themselves because they're right. They are the right person. They are the best, most supportive person. They're the most important person in your life. It's having that place of prominence is a key thing for type 2s, of being important in the eyes of others, through the strategy of being helpful. But yeah, it's finding significance through this strategy. Other types in the heart triad do it too in a different way. But yeah, it's that image focused aspect about them. So yeah, on to the subtypes. The self-preservation subtype is called privilege. It's also said like me first, entitlement, feeling entitled, without having to really do much, but they just automatically should be kind of endowed with, I don't know if that's the right word, but with love from others. Like, and they do this through being kind of cute, being like innocent, playing somewhat of a character that needs to be protected by others. This is actually the counter type too. I'll read this line. This too has a counter move away from others, a shyness born out of a need for self-protection and to avoid potential rejection. This is my subtype, my primary subtype. But yeah, they're less relationship prone because of this like shyness that's there, of wanting to protect themselves. I kind of thought like this was kind of like type 8 stuff whenever like I struggled in kind of identifying with type 8, and I think it has a lot to do with my subtype as a 2. But yeah, they kind of have a childlike seduction. A common thing actually about type 2s is seduction across the board. Seduction through these strategies to pull people into them. Yeah. One thing about 2s, it can be like overwhelming to finally like encounter your emotions, considering that they've been pushed down. It's like being in a state where like you focused on others so much that when you finally see like the state you're in, like it can be like really shut down. Like trying to wake the real heart and emotions of a 2 up can be a big deal. Like it's a journey I've walked and am walking. Yeah, to really be me, to not perform. I didn't really talk about this earlier, but yeah, there's the wings. The kind of in the middle of these subtypes right now. But yeah, the wing, you could be a 2-wing 1, a 2-wing 3, and I was going to say the 2-wing 3 will struggle a bit more with performance because the 3 is a performance kind of type, image conscious, success, all that. So I have that in me a bit more than like the 2-wing 1 that's more got like an inner critic and wants to do the right thing, and like yeah, is more critical of self and more perfectionistic aspects mixed in. So yeah, that's something else that kind of colors type 2. But yeah, so the self-preservation is the counter type. They go against a lot of the tendencies. They're less giving in a sense. They're just like, I deserve this position. I deserve to be here because I'm me. And it's like it's like seduction through being childlike, acting this innocent sort of character. Um, it's also said that they are like more indulgent, that they're more like go out and like fill themselves up with stuff. They can be like addicted to food or like experiences, kind of like seven sort of qualities there a little bit. Um, but yeah, them still like distracting themselves from their feelings of what's really going on inside of them. So yeah, that's something to look at for the self preservation subtype. So, on to the one to one or the sexual subtype. Some names for them. I've got a really cool chart that gives me a lot of descriptions and stuff, but it's called seduction, aggression, assault, reformer. Um, yeah, they are a strong willed type that's more passionate and emotionally expressive, and they're oriented to power and control in the context of one to one relationships. So that possessiveness or seduction between me and you is that much stronger of like, I'm important in your life, like um making sure that we're good. It's charming people, like pulling people into you a bit more. Yeah. Some things I'll read a bit. This pattern reflects a prideful sense that others will want to meet their needs because they are so appealing, charming, and generous. They move towards others and maneuver themselves into a position of or a special place with an active, purposeful attitude. Um, they justify their actions in the name of love, as if love were the only emotion, the center of life, the experience that justifies everything. Um, yeah, they put a great deal of energy into making relationships happen. So, a characteristic of one to one, it's like you and me. Like, how are we doing? Checking in on that connection. So, they're kind of going around and creating those one on one bonds. Um, yeah, I'm getting this stuff from EnneagramProfiling.com. They have great descriptions of the subtypes. Um, Onto the social subtype. This subtype seeks to feel lovable through cultivating an image of being an influential person, a seducer of environments. This is more of the leader type, like they're more ambitious. They are out there, like in the community more. They're like kind of maneuvering and being prominent, being important, being attached to successful people. All twos can kind of do this, like realizing who to be associated with, like who to be helpful, who, um, kind of getting in the in crowd a little bit is something twos can do to get around influential people. Um, but yeah, they're called ambition, um, like aspiring to like rise up in some community to be influential. Um, but yeah, being ambitious, they have a desire to be in the know, becoming close to the people who are perceived as powerful, and with the desire to wield power themselves. Social twos are skillful at working behind the scenes to extend the influence, supporting and helping large entities move in directions that they direct. Social twos often have a strategic angle when expressing generosity, supporting others as a way of assuring loyalty and reciprocal relationships. They can also be workaholics. They tend to engage in power struggles, wanting to dominate and play the protector. People with this subtype tend to deny vulnerable emotions such as shame, fear, despair, mistrust, jealousy, and envy. So, yeah, this is a much more leader, ambitious, workaholic in the community, powerful person, wanting power, wanting to lead the direction of things in a sense. Um, yeah, so that's just like the more you study the subtypes, that's kind of a commonality of social types is being a part of the collective, moving with the collective, um, being a reason why the collective is going a certain way. So it's just much more focused on society and influence and networks of people. So yeah, um, that self preservation, more shy, more pulled back, more um, kind of me first, that privilege sort of thing. Um, and is less attuned to like preservation needs in the way that you might think, like taking care of their own needs. It's like I take care of other people's needs. But also just like wanting people to just give that to them anyways through the strategy of being cute. And then the one-to-one is more like more seductive, more charming, more pulling an individual into them, and those one-to-one connections is more prominent. So yeah, just a bit of a comparison across them. What else to add? Yeah, as a type 2, just the high side of type 2, the gift of type 2 really is to help and to come alongside people and to help them see themselves, to help them move through their emotions. They can be great, like counselors. Yeah, but health comes in finding that balance of tending to the self first, learning to love the self first, to rest in love and move at the pace of love for the self, knowing that you are wanted, that you are appreciated, that you are loved. And this is what sets type 2s free. And yeah, I've learned so much from the Enneagram as a type 2. And yeah, I hope this has been of value to you, offered some type of insight into yourself or others that you know. If you got value out of this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your feedback. And let me know if there's anything you have a question about type 2, anything you'd like to know more. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.